how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hack Slash Mind Killer. And this is a really fun story. We get a double villain crossover. In the last issue, we had a big reveal that why the psychic was having those crazy dreams was actually because of Ashley, the kid from Land of Lost Toys, who was the Dreamwalker character. Well, it turns out he's not alone, because in this issue, we actually get the return of 66, the rock and roll character that would introduce us to the Nephlords. So two really cool and different hack slash villains that actually really work together pretty well. They're both kind of funny and immature, and the idea that they were both banished to a mysterious realm, well, turns out maybe those realms are a little bit more connected than we think, and we get to learn a bit about the sort of otherworld part of the hack slash universe, and it was pretty interesting seeing these two meet in what might be Dream World. I don't know. But needless to say, we get a pretty cool sequence when both of them will show up at the same time to stop Cassie and Vlad. Plus, we get the Shout at the Devil crew together, with both Georgia and Gertrude being in this story, so it kind of feels like a good sequel and cap-off piece to that. Plus, bear in mind that Cassie's in the middle of a very tough decision to leave the slasher hunting game once and for all, and she's got that weighing on her mind, so a ton of character work for her, but actually, surprisingly, a ton of character work for 66 as well, and we do have a very strong, character-driven ending for this story that is a very sad moment for a couple of these characters. Overall, I really liked it. Again, there's a nice, fun element of this with 66 and Ashley wreaking havoc, Ashley possessing the psychic's body, and in turn you get an old woman running around doing kid things, and let's just say they inadvertently wreak way more havoc than they meant to. And overall, a pretty fun classic hack slash story that balances fun action with a good emotional core, plus we're really defining that cast of reoccurring characters, and we're getting to cash in on a lot of the setup we've done. Overall, a really fun, cool story, and I can definitely recommend it. So far, so good with Volume 3, and I can't wait to see what's next. Anyway, if you guys want to see this story in a little bit more detail, I'll switch to the close-up camera and show you a little bit of the story and a little bit of the art. I'll be avoiding major spoilers, so I'll be avoiding the end, but without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Hack Slash Mind Killer. Once again, this is inside Omnibus 3. The writer is, of course, as always, Tim Seeley. And if we bring it over here, we see that the penciler is once again Emily Stone, the series regular, and we can see that Mind Killer is 21 and 22. Flip it to the cover, and I have to say I really do love this cover of a sort of rock and roll 6-6 styled Cassie. That's pretty cool. I think this is a really good character portrait. Anyway, after that we flip into the story proper. I'm not going to do any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, and make sure you have a basic understanding as to what the story's about. Again, no major spoilers, so I'll be avoiding the end bits, but let's dive in and look around a little bit. We open up with a flashback to what happened to Ashley and Slicehard. Yeah, turns out he was still alive when he was stuck there, but because he was stuck, he didn't escape the explosion. However, inside of his realm, we eventually hear another voice, which of course we know from that cover who it is, but we'll get there in a minute. We get a bit with Chris and Pooch, and he's talking about how he's making a database on the Hack Slash website, and that will lead to a bunch of these profiles to kind of give us little funny moments as we introduce the characters. Cassie is waking up in the van, having dreamt of Sam, and of course Georgia is super relieved that she's finally awake. Turns out she's been out for 2 whole days, Gee, Cassie has a lot to recover from lately, doesn't she? Vlad is of course still nervous because Cassie plans on leaving the slasher hunting game and running off with Georgia, and he doesn't know quite what to feel about his situation when, quite ironically, they run into Gertrude on the side of the road, and she's upset because her car broke down. Well, it turns out she's there because she had a dream where famous rock and roll legends told her to bring her guitar to Montana, and of course Cassie knows what's really up. Turns out the psychic lady that got Cassie in trouble with the police, well, she's fallen victim to Ashley, and her mind is captured in this prison. And Ashley started just feeding her visions, but now is able to control her completely and has left her in a semi-catatonic state. And it turns out that whatever realm 6-6 was banished to is close enough to whatever realm Ashley was banished to, and the two have teamed up, and now they're sending the police to Cassie. Well, Cassie knows that bringing the guitar to Montana is an obvious trap, but Gertrude doesn't, and Gertrude, Georgia, and Cassie will get into this big, long, and unnecessary fight, and Vlad will try to stop them, and Cassie will say, "Oh, that's just because she's your girlfriend, right?" And I do like that Vlad's solution to breaking up the fight is to literally break up the fight, i.e. pick them all up and throw them away. However, the police take them all to jail. They're waiting around in the holding cell when a car bursts through the door, and it turns out there's Ashley in the body of the old lady, and he's going to get the guitar. And yeah, you do get a ton of humor with this old lady saying things that only a little kid would say and behaving and acting quite erratically. Well, with the guitar, 6-6 is freed, and you have a double villain crossover with Cassie Hack stuck behind the bars. I don't want to go much farther in the story than this, but needless to say, there is actually a fun twist. And I do like we actually get a ton of character development for 6-6, and we do get a ton of fun, crazy action, and of course, character for Cassie as well. Bear in mind, she has that big decision to make. I won't go much farther in the book, but I will say that that second issue really does go crazy, and it's a really tight situation. Plus, it's so much of what the book had been building up to, like the last plot arc hinting that Ashley's coming back, and plus all that stuff with the psychic, and to see it build to this fun, crazy story, it's really cool and felt like a really, really fun episode. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my hack slash playlist where I've talked about a ton of other plot arcs. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.